think it's ready.
I think so. Hey, we're in the brand new lab. This is the new collab we have going on. Oh, that's a good little thing. And then this is, hold on, wait for it. Wait for it. Sundown Sports, brand new episode. Kyle to my right. Am I to your right or to your left?
Right.
Right?
Yep, like that.
There we go. Oh. I like your jersey. What do you got? Who are you rocking?
Guess. 87.
Is it 87?
Mm-hmm.
Chalmers.
Decker.
All right. Was Chalmers 87?
I don't know who Chalmers is.
Marshawn. It wasn't Marshawn Chalmers. Wasn't Chalmers a wide receiver for the Jets?
Mm-mm.
I just be making a dude up.
Yeah, Mario Chalmers played for the Heat.
Mario Chalmers.
He was the
He
point
played
guard.
for who?
The Miami Heat for LeBron.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, we're right on track here then. Yeah, we're right on track. Well, I mean, obviously I'm rocking this one because Tua is him. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Just put an H and an M. But we'll get into that. Welcome to episode 14. Kyle and I are trying out this brand new way of recording. Hopefully bring more videos to you guys. Kyle's got his New York Jets jersey, mine with my Tua jersey. We're ready to break down all the games that happened yesterday, get you hyped for today, 9/11. Never forget. What a day for a New York Jets football game to be on 9/11.
Big game. Huge game.
Where were you living 9/11? Were you in Tucson or were you back in the East Coast?
I was a
young
lad.
That?
Tough, 4th grade, but it was the reason why I became a police officer. So never forget.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I can't believe it's been 22 years.
Yeah, unbelievable stuff, man.
So, but thank God we have like something to help us, like, you know, prayers for all the families and people who keep having, like, today's not a good day for them, but for everyone in the country, we can remember, we can look forward to positive things. And tonight's game is a doozy of a game. We talked about it on the last podcast. Before we get into though, let's recap. A lot of people don't know this, but me and you have been doing podcasts every Monday.
It's true.
Since the beginning. So Pat McAfee's overreaction and all that stuff, we've kind of been here.
Yeah, true. We are aware of what's going to happen. Don't be distracted by the people behind me in the middle of me recording. Look, we've been here for years. We've been doing this podcast for 20 years, I think.
So a long time.
People have to realize and give us the respect that we deserve.
Just because we haven't been on the internet doing it doesn't mean we haven't been fans of the game doing it for 20 plus years.
Right. There's no proof that we haven't been doing this for 20 plus years. So look, you're just lucky that you get to hear us right now, currently.
So I don't want your overreaction from yesterday, but of the games, what's your NFL Week 1 simple reaction? Very simple.
Simple reaction. I kind of mentioned it a little bit on our preview, but I kind of like the Bucks this year. I know it's weird, but I kind of like them. I think like Mike Evans, if he stays with them for the year, if they don't trade him, I don't know. I think they're frisky, good defense. The other side of that is I think the Vikings are in trouble, and they're kind of a weird team. And I read a stat that they were 11-0 in one possession games last year. So that kind of stuff, I'm not going to say it's luck. It's a little bit. But this year now they're 0-1 in one possession games. So I like the Bucks. That's my little like not super hot take. I got a bunch of hot takes ready for this. But yeah, I kind of like the Bucks. I think they did some nice things.
Okay, I'll take it. My simple reaction is that the Chargers are going to be fine.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be fine. You watch all the games and a lot of teams came in, and you said it on the last episode, the over and the under, like go under a lot for Week 1. A lot of teams aren't ready. A couple teams came in offensively ready to play, and that was clearly in the game, the Dolphins and the Chargers. So I think the Chargers just got a bad break. J.C. Jackson PI at the end of the second or the first half to give them a free 3 points was the game difference. So I
Yeah,
think it's easy if you're a Chargers fan to be like, man, what the hell? I can't believe we lost that game. I think it'd be just fine. I like the Chargers to win the West simply
yeah.
because I watched the Raiders and Broncos. Nothing was inspiring in that game. Um, and so the Chiefs are
In trouble
Chiefs
a
need a
little
little
bit.
help. Yeah, they need a little help.
Yeah, I
So I
don't
kind
know.
of I think the Chargers will be just fine. That's my simple pump the brakes, LA fans. Your team's going to be just fine.
Now, a little concerned about giving up that many points, though. That's all I'll say for both teams. Both teams looked awesome, but both teams
That's
can't be super pumped with giving up 34 and 36.
no,
But hey,
but unless is are the Chargers going to put up 30 plus points every week because Austin Eckler is just going to have the year like his best year? Are the Dolphins because Tua wants or Tyreek wants to get 2,000 yards? The Dolphins going to just go out and sling? I think Tua threw it 42, 43 times.
yeah, that's a lot. I don't know.
That's a lot.
I think you're excited. Both teams should be fairly content with how good their teams. You have to play hard teams. You know, you're not going to play the Cardinals and the Commanders every week, but you got to hope that your defense can keep you in games. That seems like the trend. Like in years past, it was like what was it? The Bills and the Chiefs put up like the crazy game where they was like the offenses were just scoring at will. I don't know. You just hope that your defense figures it out at the end of the year. But yeah, I think you should be excited if you're a fan of both those teams. Sure beats being a fan of some of these stinkers that we had.
All right, simple reactions over with. What's your hot take?
I I might die on this hill. I'm just not that impressed with the Jaguars.
Really?
I don't know,
Ah,
man.
that is hot.
They they were about to lose that game potentially to the Colts against a rookie quarterback, first ever game. I know it was on the road. I get it. I'm just not that impressed. Like they were down in that game, and look, they looked nice. I get it, but show me when they beat some good teams, and I'll be a believer. But right now, that's one of my hotter takes. Is like I don't really care about the Jaguars. Don't care.
Wow. I thought they had a good like week one on the road. You're gonna have some ups and downs. You're gonna have to come back probably. And I thought Calvin Ridley looks great. Calvin Ridley and Trevor Lawrence took no time getting to know each other down there in Jacksonville. This is his first year with the team,
Look, I get
and
it. The Colts defense is bad. I mean, they picked fourth for a reason. They're not a good team. I look, they'll probably win that division because it's bad. But I would love to see them play against some other teams. I hope they prove me wrong because it'd be cool story for them. But I wasn't that impressed. I know they put up 31 on the road, divisional game. I just wasn't impressed with like I thought they were gonna blow the doors off the Colts. I thought it was gonna be like a 20-point game when you heard everyone talking about them. But we'll see. There's plenty of season left. That's one of my hotter takes.
okay. You know what? And I was thinking about this with the Dolphins game too. Is a lot of teams are looking good now offensively. How are they going to hold up come December when it's 5 degrees in Buffalo and you got to go and throw the ball 45 times? You know, how are
Yep.
the Jaguars going to look when they're not playing in a dome and they don't have, you know, sunshine out there slinging the rock? Travis Etienne did not have a good running game. I know he had a good receiving game, but
Yep.
his the running game for the Jaguars was not that great. But I still like them. I still like them to. I mean, they went to the divisional round of the AFC playoffs. Oh, lost the banner.
Oh, that's all right.
Well, maybe the Jaguars aren't going to go that far.
Yeah, that's pretty poetic right there.
So three rookie quarterbacks yesterday: Anthony Richardson, Bryce Young, who I called was going to have a stinker of a game, and C.J. Stroud. And let me tell you, I like Anthony Richardson athletically. I think he's athletically you put that dude out there. But I think out of the three yesterday, CJ Stroud showed the Texans he has the potential build around me to go farther than the other two. Bryce Young looked, as I predicted, all off season, in our show last Monday. Bryce Young is just he doesn't have the Tua is not a tall quarterback. He's good because he throws the ball exactly where it needs to be. That's Tua's like super power, right?
Hmm.
And all quarterbacks need a super power. Justin Herbert says that he can throw the ball 1,000,000 yards. Josh Allen says he can run over a linebacker and not get hurt. Bryce Young was just he's too small. He doesn't have anything really going for him. So I would say I was impressed with C.J. Stroud. Anthony Richardson looked cool to watch, but I don't think I think he's got too much to learn. He's gonna be like Justin Fields 2.0.
Yeah, I think the advantage that Richardson has is his team is good. It's a real shame about this whole Jonathan Taylor thing because you would at least their offense. Their defense is really difficult to watch sometimes, but at least their offense, you have Pittman. If they had Taylor playing, you'd be like, all right, this guy like has some pieces for a first round pick. The other guys are like, I mean, the Texans are horrific. They are so bad around this guy. And Carolina put together like something in the offseason because they had so much cap. They spent money on like Adam Thielen and Miles Sanders and stuff, but like they're terrible too. You just it's a shame when these guys are put in these positions to play right away and you just like you don't even give them a shot because they're just going out there with bottom of the league stuff around them. So I think Richardson's the guy I would look at to like have like a better year, maybe statistically. Hopefully he's not super banged up. I didn't even see. I saw he got taken out like the last 3 plays, but
Yeah, he
I'm
was like a goal line. He was gonna prove like I'm the one. And he went for the goal line. He just got hit by like a bunch of
yeah.
dudes at the end.
Yeah,
Slow to
which
get
like
up.
if you're gonna go out there and be a runner, you're gonna get hit, and that's the Josh Allen thing where like I don't feel bad for quarterbacks that initiate contact and are those guys. When I saw yesterday, I think it was in the first game, one of the guys kind of tried to give himself up a little bit. I'm trying to think which game it was because I watched a lot of the games. Yes, oh, the Cardinals Commanders game. Um, if you're gonna rush and be that guy that's like trying to make guys miss, expect to get hit. Um,
Right.
so Richardson needs to like if he wants to be that guy, do it, man. But you're also going. They're gonna not call penalties on you on the defenders for hitting you if you're the one that's trying to make these dudes miss. And he's a big guy, so he's trying his best to like make a statement. But you gotta. I think Trevor Lawrence said it to him like paraphrasing, like you gotta be smart. You can't give up. Like who cares? Just go down a yard earlier because you don't
Yeah.
need to get some linebackers. You're gonna make his day by being like, oh, I get to tee up on you. Cool. I'm gonna lower my shoulder and go right through you because you're gonna try to do the same shit to me because you're 6'5". But I don't know. I think the rookie quarterback thing is expected. I wasn't super impressed with any of them, but they also are all on bad teams. Sort of like I know we can get into this a little bit more detail, but the Bears Packers game. What were your thoughts on that?
I will. So you kind of look at Jordan Love like this is his rookie year, even though it clearly isn't. But he's had what 2 starts, hasn't really played a lot.
Right.
Finally, he gets to approach week one, game one. Like this is my team, like C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young and Anthony Richardson got to do. And he looked like you should sit your quarterback for a couple of years and let him develop because he wasn't flashy, but he was consistent, which is huge in the NFL. He went out there, he led his team, and the Bears. I mean, I said Justin Fields has potential to be offensive or defensive or offensive player of the year, and Justin Fields looked like he spent all off season gallivanting around Chicago or whatever he's from and didn't look at one playbook, didn't learn or study technique at all. He went out there and looked terrible. I mean, he had a
Yeah.
man open at one point. He had on a like third down. He had a guy wide open 6 yards down the field in the flat, and he decided to try to thread a needle between 3 players. And it's like you got to take your medicine sometime and get yards and not try to be something you aren't. And that's something you're supposed to learn from rookie to sophomore to junior, and he's just not doing it. Jordan
Yeah.
Love looked good.
So I watched this game for I think majority of this game. I was flipping back and forth between this one and the Raiders game. Week 1, everyone's rusty, so I'm not gonna hammer anyone. Now, having said that, who was the leading receiver for the Packers yesterday?
What is it? Aaron Jones?
Aaron Jones was their leading receiver yesterday. Jordan Love, if you look at box score, you're like, holy shit, 3 touchdowns, 245 yards. That's crazy. Aaron Jones had 86 receiving yards on 2 receptions. One of them went to the house. It was a lot of yak. It was a lot of yards after carry, yards after reception, yar. I think he looked like a rookie quarterback. He looked like a rookie quarterback whose team was way better than the Bears. The
The
Bears
Bears.
were supposed to pick number 1 last year, and they traded it. That means they're the worst fucking team in the league. I I think Green Bay has something to look forward to. I would love to see, similar to Jacksonville, I want to see them play someone good because the first half was close. I was talking to my brother, but he had the Bears in one of his parlays, and he was like, "Do I cash out at halftime?" It was close, and I was like, "I don't know, man. Like, this does not look like a bad game." And then they dissolved in the second half. No adjustments made by the Bears. The Packers just picked them apart with running the ball down their throat. The defense was all over them. Justin Fields was running for his life, and he's good
Yeah,
at that.
the O line was terrible.
Yeah, it's a problem. That team is going to have problems. They spent some money, but you just got to get some more production there. They had some garbage time touchdown at the end when they were down like 38-13 or whatever, and they got it up to 20, so it didn't look as bad. But the Packers went in there and kicked butt. Jordan Love looked fine, but
Consistent.
his box score was nothing like the game was because it was a lot of the Packers had a pick six. He went 15 for 27, so just over 50%, which is fine. Again, like 60%, that's what you want. Um, I would love to get some of those receivers to be the leading receiver down the road.
Yeah.
The fact that Aaron Jones is your leading receiver is tough. And they're going to come at me. I know they are. The Packers fans, they're going to come at me, and they're going to say Aaron Jones was on the slot. He was lined up as a receiver. If you got to do that to win games,
that's
I
how
hope.
the Chargers got so far.
Look, and
if you take Austin Eckler out of LA, is Justin Herbert having the type of years he's had?
Look, I get it, but at least or Herbert throws the ball to Keenan Allen and has guys that have, and we'll see.
Romeo Dobbs had a touchdown in the back of the end zone.
He did in the first quarter. It was their first one. It was an 8-yard pass. And look, I think that division is really weird with the Vikings being weird. They had lost. Bears, terrible, unfortunately. Green Bay's going to have a chance to make some noise because they get 6 freebie games against weird teams. 2 against Chicago, which they already won 1. The Vikings, you can beat the Vikings any day of the week. If you get weird Kirk Cousins on a 4 p.m., you're in that game. I don't want to overreact to the Packers winning against the worst team in the NFL. Sorry, Tony. Justin Fields.
Sorry, buddy.
I think Justin Fields is super dangerous. They got to just figure some stuff out. Hopefully, they watch some tape this week and see what they did wrong. But Justin Fields.
Is the Bears fan base the most heartbroken fan base to exist currently in the NFL?
No, that'd be mine.
Oh, come on. You think Aaron Rodgers going to go out and throw 3 picks and 102 10 yards? You can't be heartbroken.
The Bears went to a Super Bowl within the last 15 years.
I'm not talking about overall.
You're talking about this year?
Sad boys this year.
I think that right now, or are you saying for the season?
Right, for the season. The Bears going to be the most heartbroken fan base because they came in yesterday, and a lot of national media guys are Bears fans because a lot of national media is based out of Chicago.
True.
They came in yesterday, and they were like, Justin Fields, we're going to smash. Who's Jordan Love? The Packers have had decades of success with these quarterbacks. Jordan Love's finally going to be the Mac Jones of the Patriots, and he came out and he won the game for them. And the Bears fans are now sad boys.
Yes. I don't know. I think the Bears are in trouble this year. I think our rookie QBs are also in trouble. I think the New York Giants are in trouble.
Yeah. The Giants could probably be. Well, New York's a bigger landscape. We'll get to that game in a minute. Speaking of us, me and you being sad boys,
Hmm.
little a little. Hold on. No, our morning game hit yesterday. We came on. We had Falcons and Panthers. You went over or under in that game, and it was under. And I said I outlined Atlanta -8, and then ultimately I was like -3.5, and Atlanta came out. It was a close game at first. Desmond Ritter, I don't know if he's going to be the answer for Atlanta or if Atlanta's going to have to keep searching down the road. But Bijan Robinson looked good. Shout out South Point. Shout out Tucson, Arizona. Bijan Robinson looked good. Algier looked good.
He's the
That
guy.
guy. I thought Robinson was going to start taking some carries away from him, but nah, they stayed with him, which I respect as a coaching staff, and he looked good. And I'd say we nailed the afternoon or morning games, as people like to call them, and then we had Sunday Night Football. And let me tell you, Mr. Picks, he apologizes. He's not going to be on the show. He did send me his picks for what's coming up. So I have 2 picks and something. He says follow Sundown to see the 3rd pick posted on Thursday morning. So you'll get a Thursday Night Football pick coming up from Mr. Picks. But he was sad. He gave us a 3 parlay. The Giants leading that parlay was like plus 556, and it was Giants plus 3.5. And I think the Giants were the belle of the ball. Everyone loved Brian DeBull. Everyone was like, Daniel Jones is going to do it. Everyone wanted to hate on the Cowboys. And Dak Prescott had a mediocre game.
Yeah. He didn't have to. He didn't have to do anything.
Are people gonna talk about the 23 Cowboys like they do the 85 Bears?
So I have a soft spot for the New York Giants. A lot of my family's Giants fans. I grew up surrounded by Giants fans. They won Super Bowls when I was in middle school. I was that percentage of people that didn't get to enjoy that growing up. Um, but I enjoy them. I wouldn't call myself like a fan by any means, but if I had to pick an NFC team that if they're on against the Cowboys, I root for the Giants. The weather at MetLife was poor, but
Yeah.
as I've said forever, it's poor for both teams. It's not just poor for the Giants, so that excuse is gone. The Giants kind of drove down first drive. They set up for a field goal. You're like, all right, this is NFC East football, cool. Block kick, touchdown, and
You know who
then
scored that touchdown?
no,
Former Miami Dolphin Noah Igabagani.
yeah, craziest name possibly in sports. He scores. They the PAT failed 6-0. You're like, okay, this is going to be a weird game. And then it just fell apart completely, like in the worst way possible. The pick six, just tons of Daniel Jones not being able to get anything going. He was on his ass all game long. I don't think if you ask a Giants fan jokingly, like, hey, what's worst case scenario? They go, 40-0. And it came true. And I try to be positive, like, hey, it's only up from here. I almost am like, hey, get it out of the way now. Get embarrassed on national TV and then get pissed off. It's one game. Would you, like, if I was in that spot, I'd rather lose like that and then hope that there's some sort of rally of like, we cannot let this happen again. This is embarrassing. They got torched. And you would
Well,
think, go ahead.
I'm just saying the thing that sucks too in that type of game for the Giants to evaluate is you had a blocked kick for a touchdown, which is rare, and there's nothing you can really do except talk to the line about block and keeping the hands down. But those are going to happen. You then had another like special team return, right? Like there's a return for a touchdown.
It was a pick six they had,
Oh,
which
pick
was like
six.
Saquon caught it, got hit, the ball went straight up, and the second you saw it straight up, you're like, that's going right to Dallas. There's like no doubt about it. And they caught it and ran, whatever, 20 yards for a touchdown. And then you're sitting at 16-0.
Oh, no, you're good.
I don't know. I feel for them. Dallas should be super pumped. They win out divisional game, beat the bricks off of someone, like you said, had a lot of high hopes, expectations. Another one of my takes is it's one game. Like Giants just have to, you gotta just move on. They play against the Cardinals this week in Arizona. It should just be like, okay, that sucked. Let's figure this shit out because there's a lot of schedule ahead of us. And Dallas, the same thing. Like, hey, great win. Got to move on next week because 40-0. You almost don't. It's really weird to say, but you can't have this carry. Like this, to me, it has no momentum to me. Just, it's one game. It sucked. You brush it off and you go, whatever, next week, let's see what happens. I hope Dallas continues to do well because it's always good in sports when they're doing well. But Dak didn't have to do anything. He threw for 140 yards. They won by 40.
40, yeah.
And I mean, my only big criticism besides the whole game is the Giants leaving Daniel Jones out there in the fourth quarter. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Even the Bengals pulled Burrow.
yeah, we haven't talked about that. That was a spanking too.
That
And
was embarrassing. If you to end on the Dallas Cowboys and the Giants, just one last thing on that. I think someone said this: the Giants are kind of in a must-win against the Cardinals
I
because
don't doubt it.
then they go and they play the Niners, and you're going to start 0-3 in the NFC East.
Yeah, you can't. There's too many decent teams in that division. It's very similar to the AFC East. It's a dogfight. You got the Eagles, you got the Cowboys, the Commanders won. You cannot slip up. You got to make up these games when the weather. I mean, the weather was bad, but when it's not 25 degrees in East Rutherford, New Jersey. So they got their work
And
cut
then
out for them.
a lot of like tie breaking too comes down to liked opponents.
Yeah,
So if you lose to the Cardinals and everyone else spanks the Cardinals, and then you end up with a record matching someone in your division, you could come down to this week 2 game. You're losing to the Arizona Cardinals. Must win's tough, especially against the Cardinals, but the Cardinals didn't look too bad. But that was my last thing. Like the Giants got to brush this off quickly because they've got to come back and they've got to prove not just to themselves but to everyone else, like, hey, that was a fluke game. Watch us smash the Cardinals.
yeah, I agree. I think the weather didn't help, but again, Dallas played in the weather too. Um, but some other
Mr.
teams.
Picks, well, I was gonna say, Mr. Picks live bet that game. Every time they went up a half point, he was like, "Oh, the Giants are coming back." He kept live betting like plus 19 and a half, plus 20. Yeah, I was like, dude, there's some guy sitting in a booth laughing every time he bumps that line up half a point. He gets another $100 from you.
Yeah, just sucking money from Mr. Picks.
Uh,
Sheesh, that's tough.
all right, let me hear your thoughts on Burrow. Joe Burrow, highest paid NFL athlete ever, ever. He didn't even muster 100 yards.
I think the media that I don't want to say pay attention to, but was expecting kind of a weird game. He's coming off a weird injury. He did the same thing last year where he got hurt, didn't play preseason, came out. I think he played Pittsburgh last year, stunk, threw 4 picks, was just bad. And what happens is they end up in the AFC Championship at the end of the year. For him, he's in one of those rare boats where they just similar to Mahomes, where they just have to figure it out and um, get some good momentum going into the playoffs because they're going to be there. If they're a wild card, doesn't matter because then they'll just line up and figure it out in the playoffs. I was not obviously impressed. Cleveland's one of your guys you got to beat. They're in your division. They're going to be frisky this year. Hopefully, the Bengals kind of just do what they did last year and just say, all right, that sucked. Let's just figure this shit out.
Yeah, the thing that kind of, I don't know why athletes still do it, but Jamar Chase. I'm just gonna talk some free shit like, oh, we're playing a bunch of elves because they have an elf in the middle of their logo, and then you make fun of Cleveland all you want. They still have Myles Garrett lining up across the offensive line, and there's a video of him. Have you seen the video?
Yeah, him playing basketball almost.
Playing basketball, and then he just blows by the linemen like they're not even there.
He's
And
good.
so I'm not saying there's trouble at all in Cincinnati. I mean, Joe Burrow is allowed to have a bad game. Everyone is allowed to have an off time. Just sucks when it's your week 1 game and it's against a divisional opponent. I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, they did it
I think
last
it's
year.
I think it's a huge overreaction to be like, oh, the Bengals are in trouble. Joe Burrow just signed the biggest contract ever in the NFL, and look at what he's gonna, look what happened. He's falling off the cliff.
Yeah,
I just think it's funny that Jamar Chase called them elves and then they got spanked.
it's the classic backfire for these guys that talk all this shit. I think they'll be okay. I think that division's a real tough one too. Pittsburgh stunk it up, but Cleveland's going to be feisty this year. The Ravens are going to be
Jersey
feisty.
Jerry. Jersey
Cleveland,
Jerry.
But Pittsburgh got a nice little sample of real football players with the 49ers coming to town and just beating the crap out of them. But we'll see. Week 1, everyone take a deep breath. It's just 1 week. The teams that won, good job. It's huge. It's a big step. The teams that lost, you still have that momentum. And this is coming from the Jets fan who we lose all the time in week 1. So the false momentum maybe, but it's fine. You just got to keep going.
I think that could be the motto. Sorry. I think that could be the motto of the NFL. Week 1, take a deep breath.
Yep, it's all good. It's 1 week. A lot of your guys, I think it's very easy to attack the guys that didn't play in the preseason and then didn't do great week 1 because they're like, you should have played. I think that's easy. Now you're at week 3 and Joe Burrow's like 1-2 and has not had a good game. Maybe you're, as a Bengals fan, you're like, is he hurt? Or if you're looking,
and he is hurt. He is hurt.
He's not healthy. And if you're a Pittsburgh fan and you're like 0-3 and Kenny Pickett is not doing well, maybe you're concerned.
I've never been a Kenny Pickett fan. Everyone overhyped Kenny Pickett simply because he was playing in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And they're like the Green Bay Packers. They just had so much success following that. They just want to continue that. So,
hey, what are your thoughts on the Raiders?
I mean, you go to Mile High, you beat Danger Russ. It was a good win. Jimmy Garoppolo had a chance to win the game. He went and won it. But we've seen Jimmy Garoppolo be good in flashes. But if you're going to, the Chargers were more impressive in their loss than the Raiders were, and they're barely beating the Broncos by 1 point.
True. That's kind of 17-16 seems sort of like indicative of how I feel like those two teams are just going to be this year. They're just going to be like blah.
Yeah, I don't think Denver's I think Denver's a 4-win team. Sean Payton's got so much weird extracurriculars. Don't get me wrong. You want to be a dude who smokes weed. You want to be like, that's cool, and look at me, and yada, yada. And you want to talk shit to Aaron Rodgers' coach. But just think about what that does to the 50-plus dudes that have to look to you.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And you're going to rub people the wrong way no matter what you do. But why not try to just keep yourself as professional as can be? You come in your first year. You have what was a Pro Bowl quarterback who had a terrible year, and then you just bring extracurriculars for no reason. But, yeah, AFC West, I think, belongs to the Chargers or the Chiefs. I think the Broncos and the Raiders are they played each other. Someone had to win. It wasn't that great of a game. No one was excited.
I feel that way about the Saints-Titans. I had Titans. Titans were underdogs. I think it was 3, and they only lost by 1. And that was a big who cares game too. There was 15-16.
Ryan Tannehill's the most middle quarterback on the face of the planet.
He might be bad.
He not have a good game.
He had 3
But
picks.
again, week 1.
Look,
just breathe.
He went 16 for 34. That's a weird with 3 picks. That's a weird game. And then David Carr had 300 yards passing, but
Dave Carr threw a couple weird pick.
I don't understand how. Who's the guy on the Saints that everyone was the receiver that everyone was super high on, and then he doesn't even get.
Olave.
No, the other guy that doesn't even get a target.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
I don't know. That situation's weird.
Michael Thomas.
No, Thomas had 61 yards.
Then I don't know who you're talking about. Michael Thomas and Chris Olave are the 1 and 2.
Okay, then there might be another one that.
You were talking about the Bears where Chase Claypool stood around on certain plays and didn't do jack shit.
That's true.
We talked about the Bears enough.
Yeah, that's true.
Whoa.
We got a pup.
Yeah, a lot going on.
Is it Chris? Chris Olave had a good game though. Oh look, the Saints are going to be weird, feisty, bad division with the Panthers, and they'll be fighting the Bucks. So they got off on a good foot winning, but Tennessee, I expected better. But I don't know. Is Tannehill playing on borrowed time? They got to look for a quarterback.
Well, they have a quarterback.
Oh yeah,
Malik Willis.
Well, no, they drafted the Will.
Or Will Levi.
Yeah, they drafted him.
Will Levis. Will Levis.
Over under is 5 games before he gets in.
Hey, he may be taking starter reps this week.
Yeah, that's true.
But hey, listen, it's time. It's time. It's time. Mr. Picks. Let me get that. Mr. Picks, mail this in. Am I unmuted?
You muted yourself.
But I'm unmuted right now, right?
I think you muted yourself. I can't hear you now.
Oh, boy.
Hello?
What about now?
Still can't hear you.
Well, that's not good.
Something happened? Oh. I'm here. We'll see when Mark gets here. The last couple minutes, hopefully we'll see about Jets preview for tonight. Right now, weather is a factor. Jets and Bills tonight in East Rutherford with some weird weather going on. A lot of thunderstorms, a lot of rain. Saw some of that with the Giant game yesterday against the Cowboys. We'll see if the fellas are able to. Oh, Mark's calling now. He's hopefully joining in.
All right, can you hear me?
Now I can hear you.
Did it ever stop recording on your end?
Nope, I just...
All right, we're back.
I stalled.
We're back. Okay, Mr. Picks. He mailed this in. He wants to give everyone picks for next weekend. He did not give me a Monday Night Football pick, but all right. He's got Vikings plus 7.5 versus the Eagles. Green Bay -1 versus the Falcons. Green Bay one could be interesting. I think the Green Bay's defense proved that they can handle the Bears at least. Vikings plus 7.5 versus the Eagles. I think he just is feeling like it's going to be a touchdown game. I don't know. They're at Eagles. They're in Philadelphia. Philadelphia coming off not a very good win, close loss to the Patriots, and it's their home opener for the season. I don't know. The Vikings, you said it. The Vikings didn't look good. I'm not too sure about that one.
Vikings need to just force the ball to Justin Jefferson every play. He had like 150 yards in the first half, and then nothing else after that. Weird team.
Well, all right. Let me get you your Monday Night Football preview. This is all you. Give it to me. What's the weather like?
It's not good. It's similar to yesterday, which they had to like evacuate a bunch of people in the stadium for thunderstorm warning. This is my take right now. In my I'm going to say 26, 27-ish years of fandom, I've not been more excited for a team. I'm a very real Jets fan. We've been bad for my whole life, give or take a couple years, Rex Ryan, whatever. I think this team is really good. I also, like I said last time, we can't overreact to like losses. They're just going to happen. Like you look at teams like that go 10-6, 6 losses. It's a significant amount of losses if you look at a season like that. I'm talking about years ago before we had 17 games. So can't overreact to losses. I think they're going to be good, and it starts on their defense. Their offense is going to have some weird hiccups. New system, young guys, not the most talented receivers besides Garrett, but it should be fun. And I just want competitive games. Hopefully, they make a run at some postseason stuff. I think it's going to be a slow start, though. I've said it to you, 3-3 to start the year won't be shocking to me based off their schedule. Tonight, though, I think that their defense brings it. Josh Allen doesn't do super well against the Jets. Last year, he lost to the Jets, and that was before Aaron. So hopefully, close game. It might be a little weird, muddy season or game today with all the bad weather from yesterday and today. Look for some slow unders. If I were to bet some unders today, especially first half stuff, that's my bets. I'm going unders for some first half stuff and for the total. But Vegas might be messing with that line a lot with how bad the weather is.
We can get it right now. Listen, on the week ago when we were previewing this game, I always said that you can't give, Josh Allen a field goal, but I've come around.
Okay.
I've come around to the Jets. And let me say, I didn't know that they actually changed the logos inside of it to Jet Life. They had that going on. So with that being said, today it's still at -2.5. The over-under is 44.5. The first half over, let me get that. The thing's being weird. Anyway, with that being said, give me the Jets. Give me the Jets. +2.5. Give me the Jets on 9/11 in New York, home opener, muddy game. I like Holland Cook and Nora
Okay.
to get 3 touchdowns. Give me the
I have
Jets.
a guest appearance that's going to make right now, not you. My child is going to give you her pick for today. She knows how to talk. Are you going to get her or what? Yeah, she's up. She's been screaming. Here's the deal. I think the Jets are going to do well. I hope that the weather doesn't prevent the fans from getting in the stadium and getting super loud because, boy, it can't get any worse than what the Giants did yesterday at MetLife. So I really hope that
But
they
that
are.
was MetLife.
That
That
was
wasn't Jetline.
it was MetLife. Hopefully, JetLife comes alive tonight. Jets put on a nice show. I just really hope their defense brings it. Their defense looks really scary. Hard Knocks loves to hype that shit up. Looks scary. Offense just has to do enough. I think years past, you look at a team and you're like, okay, the defense looks at the Jets and they're like, the Jets are terrible on offense. We got to win us the games. Now they can be like, oh, we have Aaron Rodgers. And
Oh yeah,
hi.
Nora's got her Jets onesie.
Yeah, I know. Say hi. So that's who we're picking tonight. Hopefully they come out strong, led by some defense. That's what I got. We're at
All right, Kyle.
43 minutes. That's a pretty good podcast for you fellas.
Hey, we always appreciate you. Please let us know what you think about the new format, if you can. A shout out, Ty. You want to give him a shout out because in our other fantasy, he won first place, first time he's ever done that. $20 coming his way from the weekly. Shout out, Ty.
Okay. Shout out Ty.
So good episode. Thank you for watching. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram.
Bye.
Let us know what you think about the new format.
Yep.
Jets tonight. We'll see if we're right. Keep your eyes on our socials as we just roll out nonstop comments and hot takes. Kyle, I hope the Jets win.
Hey,
You look good.
the Jets lose 40-0. We're deleting this pod.
No,
That's a promise.
It's gonna go up beforehand. You got to get this going
That's
beforehand.
a promise. If the Jets lose 40-0, this pod will never surface.
Hey, and can we get a round of applause for just Nora?
Yeah, she's ready for a lifetime of terrible fandom. It's exciting. All right.
That's the new format.
Week 1.
Week 1.